This is enough bad advice for one podcast, I feel like. So yeah.
So guys, I hopefully after this podcast, listening to it, you will be equipped with all of the techniques, strategies, and ideas to have the absolute worst jiu-jitsu on the planet. Again, being the best is really hard, but we can be the worst, right? Worst is
and if you're not the worst right now, maybe you'll get demoted. It's possible. Maybe they'll take a few stripes away. Maybe you'll lose a whole belt rank. I don't know.
You follow this strategy, bro, and I'll be surprised if you're in your gym for the next week.
That's
afterwards.
right.
I mean, this is a.
If you really want to get out of your gym contract, follow these tips.
By the way, guys, I just want to put a disclaimer on this. Don't do anything we just talked about on this podcast. Dear God, don't do any of it.
We have been trying. I've been trying not to laugh the whole time. It's actually been hard because I was trying to think of like how to make these ideas worse, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna accidentally say good stuff, or I mean, and we have incorporated some things that we do that is beneficial, of course. But like you said, do not do these things. These are us kind of trolling and talking about things you should not be doing. This is how to be a bad training partner, a bad teammate,
right? Of course.
So yes, of course. If you didn't catch that, let's just say disclaimer. Let's let people know that that's what's going on.
I just want to have a disclaimer because I don't want someone to go, Chewy, I listened to an episode of your podcast and I drank 500 milligrams of caffeine right before training and I went to the hospital.
Like just
don't do that.
Just listen to that part. Maybe like we should say at the beginning of the podcast, like, hey, disclaimer, listen to the very end for a very important tip. Or a disclaimer, something like that. I don't know. We'll see.
Number 11. Don't follow any of this advice. We're having a
number 11 is the actual real one.
Spinal tap moment.
That's the real tip. Don't do any of these things. You guys know that we want you guys to get the most out of jiu-jitsu, and we thought we'd have a little fun. Chewy thought it'd be a good idea for us to have a little fun with this one. Just talk about, it's kind of like opposite day on the podcast today. This is opposite day.
So where this came from is me and one of the students, a guy named Kevin. We were on a bike one day, just kind of pedaling and just kind of working out or whatever. Kevin had a child named Carter, and him and his wife, they both come into the gym and train. And, Kevin and I were talking, and it was right before the pregnancy was over and she gave birth. And we both, him and I talking like, neither of us had great relationships with our fathers, right? Our fathers either weren't around or when they were around, it wasn't great. And so we jokingly said to ourselves, you know what? If we have kids, like we'll at least know what to do by knowing what not to do.
Exactly.
And, I think sometimes we can kind of think of it this way, right? Like you can kind of know some of the simple things to do by just simply knowing what not to do. And so hopefully you guys enjoyed today's podcast. Got a kick out of opposite day here.